Hello, Queens and Kings. 1111 on 110. That's pretty cool. What a freaking wild ride already, right? I saw this meme that was saying, I'm calling to cancel my subscription to 2021. And I was like, no, don't give up yet. We're so close to everything happening. 2020 was such a fucking wild time. It's kind of still happening, as we all know. So I wanted to spend some time today just on looking into our kind of our inner knowing, our inner wisdom, and drawing forth from winter this awareness that's expansive. There's two kinds of focus. There's narrow focus and there's wide focus. Most of us are in narrow focus. The culprit for narrow focus is things that put our attention into just one thing. All the things just go into one thing. We love the thing, but it's very narrow. And when we look into a wide sense of focus, what we're looking at is the collective horizon. When you go to the ocean and you see the sunrise, highly recommended, or the sunset, maybe a more popular one, you get this frequency in your body, and that's expansion. There's an expansive energy to that. It's in that energy that is exalted that we can create anything from what we have. That's transmutation. So 2020 was the most transmutative year in my lifetime, for sure, most of our lifetimes. And the transformation comes from the transmutation. So now that we have a heightened awareness of all of our options, all of the ways that we can collapse or expand, it's up to us in these moments to embody and go forth towards expansion, whether that be for you the rising sun energy or the setting sun energy. Sometimes we're letting things go. Sometimes we're bringing things in. But the happening is always. The change is constant. There's always something, right? How we feel about there being always something is what's going to help us magnetize and ground into the wisdom that is inside of you. Your DNA carries information that is more than ancient. This is so important right now because we're having a lot of big conversations about our culture and our future, and all of those things are based in the past. What we want to do is use the present to organize ourselves around what's possible. And in order to do that, we have to tap in. We have to be here. We have to be here now. You know, our favorite Ram Dass gifted us with this. So we're going to start today. Jasmine, if you have it. Ginger Wild Orange. If you don't have those and you're watching it in the future, you can pause this and go grab them and come back. But what we're going to do, pro tip, is to open the bottles before you open the roller. Ginger is my latest obsession. Ginger is about empowerment, but it's also just magnificent. So we're going to take 1 drop of ginger and orange. If you prefer a carrier oil, you can also add a carrier oil. I like it neat. And then we're going to take jasmine and we're going to go on all 4 fingers and your thumb. And then you're going to rub your hands together. And start to close your eyes and cup your nose and your mouth with your hands. We're going to take 3 deep breaths in and out. Just calling forth this energy of expansion, grounding into the feminine and abundance. Whenever you finish your 3rd breath, you're just going to relax your hands. Your eyes are still closed. gather yourself in your awareness right here, preparing yourself mentally to learn physically and absorb or release emotionally. Compassion is the currency for our time. Compassion is a kind of money. Investing in our compassion like we invest our money. Long-term returns. Relax your eyes, relax your ears, your nose and your mouth. Relax your tongue. Finding just this moment for now. In this inside space, as it starts to soften, taking away the stimuli of using your eyes, begin to feel into what you would like to live through in 2021. What would you like to see and feel and be within happening around you in 2021? See it, feel it, get really grateful for it. Like you're watching it happen, you're making a memory. See it as clearly as you can. 3 different things. Let it play through your mind, making a memory, grateful, the exalted emotion of gratitude as you make this little movie in your mind. Feel everything about what it's like to live with these things. Live alongside these things. We're often not afraid to fail. We're afraid to succeed. 3 more breaths with your 3 things. When you finish your 3rd breath, I'll invite you to cup your face again with your hands. Take a last breath with the oils, with the energy of abundance, empowerment, and night vision. You start to blink your eyes open. And without thinking too much, just go immediately to your pen, your paper. I want you to write down what you remember about your 3 things, unfiltered. If you don't have a pen or paper, you can just hold it in your mind. You might try some tapping if you don't have a pen or paper, repeating it. Yeah, that's what I do. We often think about living through, living with. We'll just take about 2 minutes here, tapping or writing 3 things. There will be dozens more than that you'll see, but your top 3. About 30 more seconds. When I feel like I'm running out of time, I do bullet points so I don't forget. Yeah. Cool. I like that double dose, Kristen. She's like, more Jasmine. Yeah. I'm finishing up your thoughts here. We'll have some moments if anybody feels called to share towards the end of our call, and time for questions too. If you're watching this in the future, DM me, slide into my DMs, and we can get all the questions answered. 2021 is set to be an adventure. It's already off to a riotous start. And I would invite everyone to consider that knowledge is acquired and that wisdom is innate. We learn, we acquire knowledge, we learn by experiencing mentally. Physically, when we learn, we cultivate intuition. Wisdom is innate, so is instinct. People act on instinct physiologically without thinking. Intuition comes from experiencing things in the subconscious and being able to ground them into our physical reality. When we get these senses that we've been in an experience before, or we have an intuitive sensing of something that may or may not happen. In the feminine, which is the time that we're rising into, the rising feminine, the end of the Piscean age, the declaration of the Aquarian age, and this transition from largely Capricorn energy, dense earth energy, deep winter energy in the northern hemisphere, into Aquarius, which is air, buoyant air, limitless possibility, creativity, and absurdity is Aquarius to me. And there's this way that when things get just weird enough, they start to work. I have such huge vision for our team in 2021. And part of that vision has really been grounded into ways in which I would be able to give back, ways in which I would be able to support other people. And often I feel, we talk about our own growth pattern as things that happen for us. But there's this other thing that's actually really present when we change. We offer other people an opportunity to do the same, to further embody or further disembody. Something I really notice about our lifetime is that disembodiment is prevalent. Disassociation also comes in. When we start to forget about the commonalities between us, there's only one choice from there. There's only remembering. If you forget, we remember. It's a very solvable thing. It's not permanent. It's in a space of transition always. My top 3 for this kind of mental agility in the physical body are jasmine, wild orange, and ginger. Because ginger is a root, it's also a warming oil. It reignites the sense of spirit. Ginger is about empowerment. And because it's a root, it's part of what holds the ground together. So when it feels like the ground has broken open, right, we can go to ginger or vetiver, the deepest roots to hold our own ground together. From the foundation comes everything. But where does the foundation come from? What's underneath the ground, right? How does that happen? And in the spherical nature of our human experience, everything is in a cycle. So right now we're in the winter cycle, and that's a time of rooting into the earth. It's a time when the seeds are underground, slowly, slowly, slowly warming, slowly, slowly, slowly getting ready to burst forth and pop open, reigniting the sense of spirit that is always within, that's always in our DNA, it's always accessible. Wild orange is about abundance. Abundance is the antithesis of scarcity. Scarcity is the common narrative. So the alchemy available in this situation is to take one for the opposite. Because we're in such scarcity, the remedy would be abundance in mindset and in action. Generosity is the action of abundance. In what ways can I give back? It's one of my 3 things that I want to see this year. I want to be able to write some checks, people, to people that need them. And I'm very excited about calling in that energy. And jasmine. Jasmine is a night blooming flower. Jasmine has night vision. Blinded by the light, the sensitivity to the sun. That's not jasmine. Jasmine opens for the moon. Jasmine opens at night. Things that happen at night, barring the shadow side, are gentle things. Think lullabies. Jasmine is like a lullaby for healing the feminine. The feminine is the way forward. Compassion is a currency. Feminine is the way forward. Compassion is a currency. Jasmine and wild orange together celebrate the abundance of gentleness, the generosity that going slowly gives us. Ginger, on the bottoms of your feet, is walking in your power. Walking in your power. And this is a really magnificent place to be, because as we embody the inner root system, the outer ecosystem can start to develop, it can start to grow and change. Something that I really love about ginger too is that it's epic for digestion physically. Digestion is not just foods, it's also people, places, and things. We digest ideas just as much as we digest the things that we take in. Ginger is something that reignites the human spirit. The thing that is not being talked about enough right now is the resilience of the human spirit. The ability to withstand and grow forth from. Winter, that's like the theme of winter. That's what winter evidences. Everything is stark. There's deep contrast. And then those first buds that come from spring, the first time the wind changes direction and you start to sense the spring, that moment is the evidence of the abundance that the earth has for us. And that's in that wild orange. Wild orange, my favorite way to use that oil is to diffuse it. I also love it in water. It's really great in water. So is grapefruit, but it's a little bit more of an acidic, kind of a punchy citrus. So I like the wild orange for its like universality. It's like I really haven't met anyone that didn't like wild orange oil. So it's a great one to gift too. If you're on the team or you're curious about building a team and you're looking at introducing people wild orange is an energetic signature because it also symbolizes abundance. My favorite way to use the jasmine is just across the heart or down and up the throat. Ovary to ovary is very powerful practice. Ovary to ovary or hip bone to hip bone if you don't have a womb. If you are a king and you want to support this energy, you go hip bone to hip bone. I also really love jasmine on the adrenals, on the kidneys, on the back of your body. If you put your thumbs kind of near your hip bones, where your middle finger is behind you, or your ring finger, that's about where your kidneys are. Right above there is the adrenals. And they're these little tiny things that produce all that cortisol that we've been running on for a while now. And jasmine right there is really sweet. If you have someone nearby in your household, have them draw little hearts on your adrenals with the jasmine, and that's like pretty great. I can draw a heart on my own, but if you want to incorporate a partner practice, it's a good one. Using these three together gives people the ability to withstand winter and embody the wisdom that they have known, that they are remembering, in the process of remembering. There's a way that integration is bypassed in our Western culture. We see this in yoga when people kind of have like a 1-minute shavasana. Or we see this in our life when we're in a line, or we just left something and we go immediately into our phone or something else. We don't have a pad in between experiences. What that's doing is it's disintegrating. It's not allowing for integration or connection. The thing that just happened isn't allowed to root down, so it can't really rise. And when we do this over time, we create frustration. We create a slow drip of resentment, and that becomes toxic in our bodies and in our communities over time. It also polarizes. It's a polarizing feeling, and it feeds agitation. So something to consider as you're kind of working through your winter, when there is anger or frustration, put it in the ground to be alchemized. Let it be composted by the earth herself. It's a really powerful practice. Seed paper is something I wanted to share. I'm going to bury this one today. Seed paper is paper that's made with seeds. And you put your intention on this, fold it up, and you put it in the ground. My favorite thing is putting these places and then later walking by and being like, oh, those flowers came up. Like that happened because the seeds withstand. They'll just stick in under there. This one I'm particularly excited about. This is, I am the light of the world. I am safe, love, and abundant. And this is Cosmo. These are cosmos. So I'm really excited about that because cosmos are the most fun. And I just found out that they're actually the flower for Libra, which blew my mind. Did not know. Alert the press. Seed paper is really great. You can get it on Etsy really easily. You can also make it. There's like tons of DIY tutorials on Pinterest. Our frequency for this team in 2021 is expansion. And not just literally, but psycho-spiritually. I really want to invite in a position for the team and the community. We are almost 150 people now, collectively, expanding that energy because every person is a Russian doll of a dozen other people. Everything that you do has such an impact, it's the butterfly effect, on the entire world. And I want to invite in the beginning of our year, any suggestions that you might have for leadership or community building. if there are charities that you love that we can start to donate to, if there are projects that you're working on that you'd like help sharing on your social media, if there are questions that you have about certain oils or how to use them, if you have people on your team that aren't in the group chat that want to be, call them on in. I'm really excited about everything, and that has been a choice because of course there's all this other stuff, right? But there's something about remembering the nature of our cycle, our earth cycle and our daily cycle. The sun will rise again, the sun will set again. There's really something powerful about that kind of time, taking it sunrise by sunrise. And if it's been a minute since you've seen a sunrise, tomorrow, set your alarm, wake up and see the sunrise, because there's nothing really that's more demonstrative of potential energy than a sunrise. Or a baby being born. That's harder to organize. The sunrise is like a shortcut pro tip. If you happen to have the opportunity to see a baby being born, though, that's also that's a permanent mark in your mind that will never go away. It's amazing. Not on video, I mean in person. Okay, so that's our vibe, people. That's our vibe. I'm so grateful for you. doTERRA-wise, like the physical 3D aspect of doTERRA grew like over 400% this last year. They're seeing insane returns on their efforts. It's entering into 6 or 7 countries that it wasn't in before, a couple of countries in Africa too. And there's a lot of opportunity for growth in the company, with the company, and in our communities, bringing this natural solution idea forth. There's also, a hyper awareness of the problematic part of our culture and its quick solution thing. Our team is holding a frequency, and that's important. A lot of the people, honestly, everyone on the team, it's like some cosmic miracle. Everyone on the team, they're like light workers. And you have a gift to give this world. You are a miracle, first of all. There's a 1 in 400 billion chance that you would even arrive here on Earth. Let's just start there. You're a miracle. Your eyes opened. Anything is possible. It's amazing. We get so big in the ideas, though. We get so big into like why or how or when that we kind of block the energy of what wants to happen to us and for us. doTERRA has shifted this whole thing this year. They've changed a lot about the LRP templates and that kind of stuff. They're just making more available for LRP templates. Like there are 3 kits: the mind and mood, the immunity, and the other one that exists. I don't know where it is in my mind. Those are all 3-part LRPs. And then this nutritional situation that just debuted this week. So today's the last day, January 10th. If you're watching this in the future, next month, today's the last day to get the 20% off of this introductory kit. So there's 2 enrollment kits with the functional nutrition. And there's 1 kit for advocates that comes with everything. And then there are just things that you can purchase as a customer. So the protein is largely pea protein in the vegan one. There's a vegan vanilla that's off the chart. And then there are chocolate and vanilla regular ones that are clean protein. They're whey based. The whey is sourced super swiftly and really sweetly. from what I hear, I have done a bunch of research on these items. They are new. So there's like I haven't gotten all of the information yet, but what I have learned so far, there is maltodextrin, which is a kind of sugar, but it's a very low amount. And I just got sent like one dose of the vegan vanilla because mine's not here yet, but I wanted to try it before I talked about it. And like, it's really good. It's really good. It kind of reminds me of the yogurt I used to have when I was a kid. So I highly recommend the vegan vanilla. I've also heard that the regular chocolate one is really good, but I can't do dairy. So it's a vibe. But if you're in the dairy frequency, the chocolate one is supposed to be really good. And then the fiber situation. So the human is supposed to have about 25 to 30 grams of fiber a day. A lot of fiber supplements they like absorb other nutrients. Things like psyllium husk, they're not bad, but they actually siphon nutrients from the body sometimes because they absorb it all. So we want to have, oh my gosh, there's a giant bluebird that just came to the windowsill and like terrified me for a second. Oh my God. There's eagles out here too. And the other day, this is like a tangent. I'm sorry, tangent, broke the wall. The other day, an eagle came flying past the window, and it looked like a pterodactyl. Like it had this like sweeping thing that came down the window, and I was like, oh my God, because it's, this 2020 shit. I was like, what? The aliens, are they here? Are the dinosaurs back? It was like there was no, I didn't even question it. Eagles are flipping huge. There's a family of eagles here that my mom has known for the whole time she's lived here. There was a baby eagle, lived across the street in the tree, and then it lived there for like 3 years. It found a mate, and now they both live there. And then 2 years ago, they had a baby, and now there's 3 little friggin' eagles, and they're so ridiculous. But anyway, I thought it looked like a dinosaur, and I was like, well, the time is nigh. Anyway, so fiber. Um, being able to be absorbed is really important. So the main kind of fiber in the doTERRA fiber supplement is apple fiber. It also has tapioca fiber. It's vegan. And it has about 6 grams.
You're kind of going in and out. I don't know if anybody else is having that.
Am I? Can you guys hear me?
Is anybody else having issues? Okay, cool. It's just me. Never mind. Sorry to interrupt you.
Molly's like, hey, girl. I think it's because nobody really wants to take the fiber. I think that's what's happening. So yeah, the fiber, apple and tapioca. And then the greens. So the green supplement is what I'm most excited about. I like the protein and the fiber idea. I think that most people in the culture and in our communities can use supplemental parts of this. I think fiber from whole foods is a little bit more like absorbable. So this is supposed to be supplemental. It's not supposed to replace fiber. There are some fiber supplements that are kind of sold as like a way to replace dietary fiber. That's not this. This is like supplemental. And that's why it's so good. Because when people are trying to just take multivitamins instead of eating well, right? They're just doing the LLV, but they're still eating like not very well. Then there's kind of a disconnect between their body and their intention. And that's kind of where things go wrong. So that's the benefit of the supplement, the fiber supplement especially. The greens are really good. So one of the first questions I got about everything was, is it organic? And I want to talk about organic for a second, because this is a question that comes up a lot with doTERRA, because we have the CPTG certification, and we also have a few other types of testing for invasive items, pesticides, things in the groundwater, all that stuff. A lot of the countries where doTERRA sources product have organic labeling options. However, they're not regulated. And this is a thing about organic in general. You can purchase an organic label. I'm from Hollywood, California. And in California, they have these letters on the buildings, A, B, C, D, or F, where you get graded on your health and safety as a restaurant. And I worked at several restaurants in my time that had A's that like were not A's. And I worked at a few too. I worked at a couple too that were C's and were beyond. So I'm saying this because we don't know. I worked in restaurants for 15 years, and I can tell you, you know, there's we're stronger than we think we are physiologically. Like we can take more than the label says. So organic is really important, but chemical free I think is a little more important. And the organic label, because it's a business, because it's a commodity that you can purchase, it's not as easy to trust it. Foods are different. We interact with doTERRA a lot with the FDA, right? The oils aren't FDA regulated. doTERRA gets around that, like you can see on your ginger bottle, where it'll say on here, essential oil supplement, the serving size 1 drop. It'll say for internal use, dilute 1 drop in 4-ounce liquid. It says it on there, but it can't actually be recommended for internal use. And this is like a catch with the FDA. So a lot of things that are regulated by the FDA are, it's questionable. So remember that as people are kind of asking you about the organic part of this, because the grains are all sourced from really epic places, but the actual labels on the products, they're not organic. And I'm going to try to get a full container. Mine's like not here yet. I'm not going to try. Mine's on the way. But I just have the samples that my friend sent me about the greens and the protein. And I really like the greens. What I like about them is that they dissolve really well. I kind of wish I had more of the protein to try the protein and the greens together. And I'm really excited about this. So it's like an intro to the new nutrition line. This is, I think, a gateway into doTERRA's opportunity that came from last year and this like burst in sales and awareness. So there's a couple people on the team, Claire and Carissa, who are already working with companies and in industries that do a lot with this kind of physical supplement. And I think they're going to have a lot of resources for us too as they start to use them. The enrollment kit that is launching is $225, and it's like ridiculous. It comes with all of these products, the greens, the protein, and the fiber, and the essentials kit itself, which has the basic oils, lemon, lavender, balance, frankincense, and then the digestion Terrazyme enzymes, which I live for. I live for those, and the Digestin capsules. So that whole kit is an enrollment kit, and it's $225. Comes with a year of wholesale pricing. That is amazing. The Digestin just got reformulated too, so it includes more cardamom now. I like it better. I do have a soft spot for the old one. I think they actually might have just sold out of the last Digestin old formula. But check the sales section, like the special section on the website, because that's where they would put things like that. That's where I got the last bottle of soft gels, because I wanted to compare them. So yeah, that's the vibe on that. That kit also comes with Deep Blue. I don't know if I said that, but the Deep Blue is on there too. Right now for wellness advocates, you can get a pack of all of these products, and I believe it's $165. It comes with 2 of each of the things. The intent there is to be able to sample your team. Like that's how I got some. Yeah, fortifying the physical body. This year is a 5-year in the Kundalini tradition. It's also a 5-year in terms of tarot association. That is the year of the Hierophant. and the inner mentor, the great wisdom teacher, not the hermetic. It's not the hermetic journey. The Hierophant is like your best mentor. And so it's definitely going to be a year of fortifying the body through experience that we learn from people that have been through what we're trying to go through. So practices this year, practically spending time with your elders, getting to know your ancestry, working with your own history. There's a trauma response in the culture right now. There's compound trauma and stress from last year that has not been embodied yet. So going back to that compassion as currency part, just grounding into that, you know, if you recognize a behavior in someone else, it's because you know it yourself. It's because you know it yourself. And fear is transmuted with faith and compassion, which is a kind of faith. It's a compassion to the earth rhythm. When we are in our faith, our fear can't take a hold. We can oscillate because we're in human form, but ultimately, having that grounding cord, the winter is the time to fortify it. You know, a lot of the fear is from having a feeling that we're not as healthy as we could be, physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. And recognizing that is really the stepping stone. Like recognizing it is the first step to being able to facilitate change. And that's where, you know, the oils are your opportunity for yourself, which is also the opportunity for your community. So my personal goal this year, one of them, is to be more visible with these alternatives, because I'm visible. I feel like I'm visible, but I want to be more visible. And I think a lot of this will come from the podcast. One of my things why I wanted to launch the podcast was to be able to get alternatives out there, whether they be psycho-spiritual, physical, social, you know, just having different ways to get out there. And I want to tell everybody, you know, because I know everyone on the team personally, almost everyone on the team personally, and there's something about saying out loud what you want. There's something about going forth and doing something about what you want that really magnetizes it. And it's just like the coolest thing. So much information. So many things. That's what I got, peeps. That's what I got. I want to open it up for some questions and comments or queries. If anybody wants to share their intention or intentions for 2021, I just think that would be cool. If you're watching this in the future, you can put it in the group chat. Because when we speak it out loud, it magnetizes. It starts to happen. That being said, there's no pressure. I'm going to pause in case anybody wants to. I have this other class. Oh, is Kristen coming? Nope.
I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm excited for a sunrise tomorrow.
That's awesome. I teach this other class, and we do this like popcorn style sharing, because there's no way to like nobody wants to go first, nobody wants to go after, nobody knows when to whatever. But I didn't want to do it today because I know the people on this call, and I didn't want to make anybody feel like they had to talk. But if you do want to share, feel free. Okay, I'm going to take that as a maybe later. Let's see. So Elena's calls, the mentorship is still free for the team for 2 more months. Well, actually, this month and next month. And the next mentorship call is tomorrow at 9 a.m. So if you haven't signed up for that, hop on it. The mentorship portal has so many epic resources. So fun. Energetics, especially, a lot of tapping practices. And she's got something about a sleep hygiene routine that I really loved. I'd never really heard of that before. So I loved that. I don't know when it will happen, but she did actually interview me this week for that membership portal. So there will be a video of me talking about starting a business up on that blog. I'll let you guys know when it comes out. It was really exciting and it was really cool. And then the momentum call, I'm like looking at my calendar up there. The momentum call is soon, but I'll put it in the group chat because I can't see my crazy multicolored handwriting from here. Yeah, and I love you. I love you all. I'm gonna stop recording here.